Hi there, I'm Justin Pritchard, and today we are taking a spin in the most capable version yet of one of the world's most popular electric cars. This is the Nissan Leaf Plus, and the Plus means that this is the newly available version of Nissan's popular Leaf electric vehicle, and from a driving range and power perspective, it's the most capable Leaf yet. As an EV, there's no gasoline involved, no engine, exhaust, gas tank, none of that. Instead, it's a battery and motor unit, which are what's upgraded here for Plus duty. In the standard Leaf, you can drive 243 kilometers and you get 147 direct drive horsepower and 236 pounds of torque. Go for the Leaf Plus and they slap in an upgraded 62 kilowatt hour battery and a more powerful motor. And the range climbs from 243 to 363 clicks, torque climbs from 236 to 250 pounds, and horsepower jumps from 147 to 214. Now, if you live in Narnia and you still think electric cars are gutless, then consider this. This one will do 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, which is about as fast as a sporty compact like, say, the new Honda Civic Si. And in the process, it's totally noiseless. But could you drive this electric car? Well, consider this. How often do you drive more than 250 kilometers before your vehicle is parked at home for hours? If you said rarely or never, then you could do all of that, all electric, and that's even in the dead cold of wintertime in Sudbury. You can preheat the cabin using grid power to help save battery range in the cold. If you do, you just plug into a 240 volt level 2 home charger like this before bed, and in the morning your car's toasty warm and defrosted, and the battery is full to the brim and things are ready to go. Just not to the gas station or the oil change place ever. So let's talk range and let's talk Northern Ontario in the winter. Now, the advertised range in perfect conditions is 363 kilometers on a full charge, but everything costs energy, including being cold, which causes some shrinkage to the range. Now today, it's about -5, and that costs 63 kilometers, making it 300 on a full charge. And if I turn the heat on today, then that'll cost me another 20 kilometers, making it about 280, and extreme cold would cost another 30, maybe 40 kilometers more than that. So the point is 363 kilometers in perfect conditions, and let's call it 250 kilometers on the average cold winter day. Longer drives in my part of Canada can still be inconvenient or impossible because there's virtually no public charging infrastructure for non-Tesla electric car models. If possible, use a public fast charge station like this one. It's a DC Fast Level 3. It filled the Leaf's battery from 19% to 97%, bringing the range back up past 300 kilometers, and that took me an hour. That's how I got this machine from Toronto to Sudbury for this test drive. Made it home in good order, safe and happy, and just an hour later than usual. Where and how and even if this all fits with what you're after is the bigger question as you start exploring, still, and especially if you've already got a truck or minivan for longer family trips, then something like this is becoming more feasible. It's very clear that this little zero emission is on a mission. But how does it work as a car? There's a big, deep, and low cargo area, and probably that's because there's no muffler or gas tank underneath. Gear and shopping are loaded in and out easily, or camera things in our case. Rear seats, they're adult-friendly, generous headroom, legroom's not too bad, and there's lots of tall glass for a good view out. 2 adults can fit back here no problem, and up front, same thing. This is a sort of tall hatchback shape. Think very small crossover, maybe, or Honda Fit or Nissan Versa Note, and you're in the right ballpark. Point is, you're sitting slightly elevated, the dash and controls are low and away from you, and there's a good view out and you don't feel crowded. So for space and flexibility and functionality, this will do you just fine in most cases. Just note they only come front-wheel drive. You start the motor by pressing the power button, and that is completely uneventful because there is of course no starter and no sound and no vibration, just a green light here telling you that driving is possible. Then put the shifter into drive. It looks a bit silly, but it's easy to use. Just slide it here for drive, here for reverse, and press this to park. Suspension is relatively soft, but with some stiffness around the core to keep things from feeling too spongy. Sudbury's pothole-infested roads did little to break the composure. You hear the rougher roads more than you feel them, and in all, it's a ride really well done. Soft and inviting, but not flubbery. It's a nice long-haul cruiser. Steering is light and lazy, which is not your favorite if you're a sports car fan, but it is easy to use, and the slower you go, the lighter it is, which makes parking mischievously easy. The tiny turning circle and 360-degree aerial view parking camera system, which literally shows your entire surroundings on a single screen, help here too. The brakes will take first-timers a bit of getting used to because electric car brakes can feel a little funny at first if you're not familiar with them, but your foot will figure out the pedal in a few days and the brakes work just fine. Noise levels are good, and the Leaf Plus mostly feels good and sturdy on the road, but the steering is so limp it can sometimes be hard to keep it feeling bolted onto its course. One advantage on the highway to this whole electric power thing is passing and merging, which is just point and shoot. Immediate torque, loads of it, and throttle response that even the sportiest of sports car drivers just will not believe. My tester got advanced safety features, including some autonomous functionality for accident mitigation in certain situations, and also a high-tech central command touchscreen that controls hundreds of functions. Neither the safety nor infotainment systems will cause you much stress. They're straightforward, logical, and very easy to get comfortable with. There's just one big gripe, bearing context in mind. Not that much of your investment in this car goes towards its cabin, but at $44,000 for starters and call it $50,000 for my top dog Leaf Plus SL, I'd agree with anyone who figures it looks just a tad bit too bland and even dated in here, where the displays and interfaces and overall look and feel are concerned. A standard Leaf, not the Plus, starts around $41,000 if you're wondering. Some of you are thinking that that's too much money for a small car that might not be able to drive as far as you like, and even do a few ticks less than that if it's cold. Some people make a car like this their family's second car that never needs to go to the gas station. Others buy small crossovers for a lot less money and don't even wonder how long it would take them to go through another $20,000 in gasoline. And that's an option, and shoppers want options, and this is just one of them. Still, Nissan will have no trouble selling every single one of those that they can build to shoppers who buy EVs for a whole number of reasons that have very little to do with what they cost. If you're one of them, then this highly functional, fast-charging, very nicely equipped and very smooth contender is definitely worth a look. Thanks for watching.